Hey guys, I am so excited to be here and chat with you today and hopefully share some words of inspiration or hope with you guys today. It's been a while since I've been on here, and so I'm just so excited to come on here and share what I hope is some inspiration for you guys today. So, I've had a lot of new clients ask me about how I became a practitioner, um, how I stumbled into emotion code and body code. And a lot of people, those of you guys who've been with me for years, you know my story, but I've had a lot of new people join my tribe, my groups, my website, and this channel. And so I just wanted to come on and share my story with you guys, just to, let you guys know how I ended up in doing what I do. So, if you don't know, I am a practitioner. I'm certified in a few certifications. I'm certified in emotion code and body code and holistic life coaching, plant-based nutrition, and I am a master's level trauma trained specialist. So that's a lot. And so I have been in the field of mental health for about 18 years. So um, I've learned a lot through that. And in the meantime, about, oh goodness, how many years ago was it? I think it was about 10 years ago. Um, I started studying integrative health. Um, I decided I wanted to be a life coach because my health sucked. Honestly, it was horrible. And I've been searching for answers in Western medicine, and I'll share about that in just a minute. But I had been searching for answers in Western medicine and wasn't getting answers, or the answers I got made me sicker. And so I really was just trying to get better. And in the process, I saw how we were deceived and how many of us were not given hope in the Western it's like, well, you're going to have this condition for the rest of your life, and you're going to develop some more diagnoses along the way, and you're going to get sicker. And, along the way, we're going to prescribe you a whole bunch of more medication, and that's just the life you have to live. And I was like, if this is it, like this totally sucks. I mean, it really was. Like in my 20s, like late 20s, there was a time where I thought I was going to end up on disability. And there were times that I was like, if this is life, I do not want to live anymore. I was in horrible pain. I mean, top of my head, all the way down to my feet. I was in pain. My body always felt like it was just burning. I couldn't get relief. Um, I couldn't get relief from even medications. I would take them, muscle relaxers. They would work for a little while in like a couple hours, and then the pain would be back. And I even went the route of massages, and a massage would last for a few hours, the effects, and then I'd be back to in pain again. And so I'd really been searching, and really kind of what started that search was working in mental health. I saw how my clients weren't getting better with meds or therapy. Like no one was getting better, like no one. And so I started looking at alternative methods to do with my clients, because I'm like, why am I spending all this time with them and they're like on my caseload for a year or more and they're not getting better? So that led me down the route of rabbit hole search, looking for alternative means to help people deal with emotional issues. And so to backtrack, where my help actually started, some of you guys, if you're on my Facebook page, if you're in my group, you probably know the story. But to kind of backtrack to where I originally started, I was about 9 years old, and I struggled with my weight as a kid. Like, you know, there's some emotional reasons I figured out. There was some trauma that happened to me as very, very young that I was able to find through tapping into my subconscious. And so there were some reasons that I was emotionally addicted to food, chocolate cake, rolls, bread, carbs at a very young age. It was a coping mechanism that I was given to deal with trauma before the age of about 4 or 5. And so, because of that, I had an addiction to food. And as I worked on myself later, I learned that that had represented comfort and safety and support. And so that started that addiction to sugar and carbs, which led to, as a child, I was overweight. My parents, read all the natural books at that time, and they tried to keep me away from sugar, but churches don't always listen to parents' wishes, and so they're like, "Here, have the sucker." And so my parents kind of lost that battle, and I remember, oh my gosh, it was so horrible. But I remember my parents trying, and the healthy choices that we have now for food, oh my goodness, are so much better than in the 80s. I remember them trying to get me to eat the most disgusting salad at McDonald's. And it was probably disgusting because it was probably laden with chemicals, pesticides, and it just was nasty. And I was kind of like, this is disgusting. I mean, I know the hamburger and french fries isn't good for me, but it was disgusting. Like, I still can remember that, like, wanting to throw up. And it was probably because I was tasting all the chemicals in it that they were already putting in fast food. But um, so then there was like that whole issue, if you think about it, where I felt punished. I couldn't eat like everyone else. And now I'm having to eat this crappy chemical laden salad um, because I'm the chubby kid. So about actually the day before I turned 10, I started my period, and that sucked. Honestly, it sucked. Um, I remember singing the Toys R Us song. I don't want to grow up. What is it? I can't remember. I wanted to be a Toys R Us kid. I just wanted to be a kid. Oh my goodness, like that makes me want to cry right now. Um, I wasn't ready. Oh my goodness, I think I am gonna cry actually. I was not ready. Here we go. We might just have a healing session for me going on right now. I never realized this was such a big deal um, until now. Um, but I started my cycle at 10 and it really hurt my feelings. Hence the crying now. I wasn't ready to grow up. And it was embarrassing. Now I have to carry a purse to class, and then I have to go to the bathroom with a purse once a month. And then I felt like, and no one probably didn't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never asked the people I went to school with in 5th grade what they thought, but I felt like then I have to get up in front of everybody, go to the bathroom with my purse, and everybody knows why. And I was super embarrassed. Well, then I started having really painful periods. I don't really remember as much, but by, like middle school, like 6th, 7th grade, um, I would be in a lot of pain. I would be very moody around them. I mean, I remember my dad giving me Midol one day after school, and it was really great sleep afterwards. But I did not even have easy cycles. And so that was tough. It was tough to like, I guess that's where it started with putting on like the fake face. Like, I'm okay. I don't want anyone to know that I'm struggling with these horrific periods. So I'm okay. Fake smile. Let me put everything discreet. I don't want anybody to know. So interesting enough, I started faking life. You know what I'm saying? Because you couldn't be real. And so it was hard. I always felt awkward in high school. I started dieting by about 8th grade. Started dieting. I got really skinny. I mean, well, I don't want to say like super skinny or anything, but I got to I was like 120 pounds, which I would love to be right now, but here we are. Uh, those were the good days. But I went into the whole low fat craze, and so I didn't do it healthy. And I probably had some issues along the way from doing such a low fat diet in high school, but it kept me at, skinny. Of course, I didn't even think I was skinny enough then because, it's high school. But I had little pieces of facial hair. That was embarrassing because I felt like, again, I was the only teenage girl dealing with this. And I may have been, I don't know. I definitely was not going to let my friends know. And so I went through this whole, like, all these years with this period that was horrible, these symptoms. And I felt like I couldn't talk about it with anybody because it was so embarrassing. And so I hid. I put on the fake exterior, which is kind of interesting. And, I just tried to be okay. And by college, the pain sometimes was so bad. I was working retail and going to college that sometimes I just had to call out of work. I literally could not walk because of the pain in my legs. And then they figured out that it looked like I had PCOS. They're just learning about PCOS then. This is like the late 90s, early 2000s. And so this is what they think is going on. So they put me on birth control. And from there, I couldn't manage my weight. I couldn't. Um, that made it so much harder. And so I started gaining weight. And then they started, okay, so we don't really know how to cure PCOS. It's not a disease. So we're just going to start throwing medications at you. And most of them made me sick. And that started the cycle of everything going out of whack. Everything. Weight was ballooning. I had horrible brain fog. I had chronic fatigue. I had mono at 17, severe case like jaundice and everything. And so for years, I still had mono symptoms at times. And now I've got this horrific PCOS, and then I'm just not able to function. And the older I got in my 20s, the worse it got. I ballooned up eventually to about 225 pounds, which I'm 5'2", so it didn't feel good. I had fibromyalgia symptoms. I finally found a thyroid specialist, an integrative doctor, and I did have hypothyroidism. Um, I had all the symptoms of adrenal fatigue, of course, the PCOS. And because of that, I had attention issues. So then I was able to get on Adderall because I could fit the criteria for ADD at the time. I think they've taken that off now, but or off I think it's all just under ADHD now, is what I mean. But so I got the script for that. Chronic sinus infections. Constantly at the hospital, or not the hospital, with the doctor, just always on medications. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I could barely function through work. And then, of course, I had a high stress job working in mental health. And then I was a program director. And so I had all this stress. I, 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 I was a people pleaser, and you can't please people. Even in the workplace, no one's going to be 100% happy with you, right? So I'm always trying because it's like I've got to please these people. I've got to appear to be perfect. Everything I do has to be perfect. I can't mentally handle mistakes. I can't handle criticism. And so I'll put a lot of stress on myself not eating properly because I gave up. I was like, screw it. I'll have the fried whatever. I'll have the piece of chocolate cake. I'll have whatever. It's the only thing I have left in life, right? Like, my health sucks. I'm single. I'm stressed out at my job. I don't drink. So I'm just going to eat whatever the heck I want to. And so I was a hot mess, a hot mess. And I had an amazing angel friend, but an angel introduced me to emotion code and then eventually body code. They're both founded by the same doctor. And I got a session, and it was the first time for that hour. It was like heaven. I had this relief. I was grounded. I got relief of some stuff, and it was hard at first. It was really hard to even get sessions because, I've had to, talk about how I always had to look perfect, be perfect, put the mask on, and someone's going into my inner heart and they're pulling things out that I didn't want anybody to know about. I didn't want anybody to know I felt that way. So that was an interesting concept. I was a pastor's kid growing up, grew up in the Baptist church, went to the Baptist school. You can't be real. Like everybody's got to put on their church face 24/7 or you'll be gossiped about. And so to have even someone go into my inner heart and pull those things out, like I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and allowing that. But I was so desperate and the medications weren't working. Nothing else was working. And this was the only time I got relief. And then through when I started getting body code sessions, then it started coming out, oh, that food that you ate was toxic. Oh, that vaccine you had left toxicity in your body. Oh, your makeup is causing toxicity. It's throwing your thyroid out. That's why your thyroid is not functioning. And so with the body code map, I started not only finding the emotional issues in myself that was going on that needed to be released that was causing these symptoms of sickness in my body, but also finding out how to take care of myself, like what I was doing, what I was putting in my body, the chemicals I was exposing myself to. I knew I was allergic to fragrances, but I was too embarrassed to tell people. I was highly allergic to cigarette smoke, but I just felt like I had to suffer. And this stuff is coming out that it's causing me to be sick. And so that also gave me some permission to take care of myself because that's another issue. I just never felt I needed someone else to always give me permission to take care of myself. Not now, but back then, that's where I was. And to be able to say no. And then what does my body need? What are the right supplements for my body? What are the right foods for my body? Um, Learning how to allow my body to experience good emotions. And so it really saved my life. And so through that process, then I had the courage to start studying holistic life coaching. I knew there were other people around me. I wasn't really as big on social media then, but I knew if I was suffering, there were other people that were suffering as well, that they had been not been given hope with their doctor, that they had been told, this is what you're going to have to deal with, this is when you're going to die. I was told in my early 20s, I would be diabetic by 35, I would have heart disease by 35, I would have all these medications. Like, I was told I would never be able to release weight. 90 pounds gone, doctor. 90 pounds gone. You told me I couldn't do it, but I did it. But, I knew I wasn't the only one. And I was so miserable. And I knew there were people that were probably just like me. And so my heart was, as I heal and as I find out the answers, I want to help other people heal too. I don't want anyone else to ever have to live in that misery, the suffering, the pain, the constant obesity, the organ malfunction, the hormone imbalance. I do not wish that on anybody. That was torture. It was literally torture. And I do not wish that on anybody. And so through studying holistic life coaching, I also started connect, connecting the dots with the powers that be. And probably if it has a commercial, you probably can't trust it. And I'll just leave it at that. You can join my inner circle tribe and we can talk more about it there or in a session. But I started following the money trail. And from there, I just started learning, reading, researching. I was gifted with a certification to become a motion co-practitioner. And so that's where I started as a practitioner in 2014. So at this point, this is being made in 2021. So that was 7 years ago. And not only did I get to help myself, but I started to be able to help others. And it's such a blessing. From there, after 2014, I eventually studied plant-based nutrition, which I will just go ahead and let you know. I did dabble in, I don't want to say veganism because it was about the food. It was not a moral reason. It was for my health. And I did it for a few years until I realized I needed some animal protein back in my body personally. But I still, what I trained under was like about an 80% plant-based, 20% coming from meats, dairy, if you can handle it. Unfortunately, I love cheese, but my body doesn't like cheese. Um, so very, some people may call it like a plant strong, but so I became certified in that to not only help myself, but to help my clients who are open and willing for that. And then um, I eventually became a body code became certified in body code because I wanted to take it to the next level because um, I had reaped benefits from body code, and to just be able to offer the whole shebang to my clients is amazing. And from there, as I healed, um, I added the trauma training, um, and have studied some other modalities that I incorporate into my practice with my clients. So basically, I have this little wonderful toolbox full of tools that I'm able to meet the client where they are and give them the support and the guidance and help them on their wellness journey with multiple tools in my toolbox. And so I was able to heal, and a lot of it came from mindset, from healing from within, but also changing my mindset. For me, it's renewing my mind in the word. Um, it's it's having boundaries, which I highly recommend reading the book Boundaries, but it's having boundaries. It's being present. It's just, it's amazing. Healing is amazing. And it's changed my life. And it's changing the lives of my clients every single day. And I just get so many success stories back from the clients that I'm able to support. And just to hear the things that happen, um, going from hopeless to hope filled, and what that looks like, to low self esteem to confidence. Um, and I work with individuals on what I call two different paths, with um, physical and emotional rebalancing through typically emotion code and body code, and then abundance for those who have a heart of entrepreneurship and they want to create, or they want more abundance in their life. They want more money. They want a kingdom minded, excellent, successful business. I work with them through abundance, and both of them, the results are amazing. Um, Restored relationships, obviously restored physical health and mental health and emotional health. But sometimes, and I think the greatest feedback is to hear about the restored relationships. And sometimes that's just getting your energy back so that you're able to play with your children, or you have the patience now uh, to interact with your family or others. And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it. I can't say enough about the opportunity to get to help support people heal and take back their hope, to find that abundance that has been within them the whole time. It may have been hidden from some trauma and from some physical symptoms and sickness, but it's been there the whole time. It's like we're peeling back layers of an onion, and when we get to that inner core of who that person really is, and they begin to thrive, and they begin to know their abundance, and creativity flows, confident flows, they're clear minded, they're focused. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's life changing. You just literally see life flowing in them and through them. And so that is how, you my dog. That's how I became a practitioner. That's my story, my journey. I'm still medication free. The last medications that I went off of were Adderall and birth control, and that was in 2011. Yes, so 10 years ago. Um, I now take care of my body with good nutrition, with herbal support, homeopathics as needed, and I drink Mead water because I found it to be the best water for me, and um, just living in optimal divine health the way God created me. And He is the healer. He is the giver of abundance. He's the giver of all good things. All good comes from Him. And I'm so grateful that He used these tools to help me tap into His gift. And I'm grateful to be that vessel to connect others to His healing, to His power, to His source. So thank you. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to chat with you. I will link my website below. I would love to, if you want to just chat or if you want to hear more about what I offer, um, feel free to schedule a consultation. I'd love just to hear your story and what you would love to receive healing from. And in the meantime, I am sending you love and prayers, and just know that God's gift of healing is for you. His gift of abundance, He's given you, it's within you. Just, be open to receive every single day all the good gifts that God has for you. Thank you. Love you guys.